Hi, I'm Kay. I'm a wellness professional, big nerd, and I have bilateral high frequency hearing loss. I also wear hearing aids. So I am super excited to take you into my world, my hearing loss journey with House Institute on Now Listen.
Hi, Kay. It has been great getting to know you over the last few weeks. So thank you so much for all of your input and enlightening all of us. Our next question is about dating. So as a young woman, possibly on dating apps, as we'd expect from our generation, wondering what your experience is like dating with a disability.
Great question. So I go half and half. It's actually a recent conversation I've had, oddly enough, with my father. My father will be giving me tips sometimes. He gives me some dating tips, really good dating tips. So just in general on dating apps, I try to be as straightforward as possible that I have a hearing loss. Some of the apps have this fun way of disclosing, like, oh, what's a fun fact about you? I'm like, a fun fact is that I have hearing loss. So get on board with that. As I talked to my dad, he mentioned that, which was an interesting conversation. He mentioned that he said not to disclose your hearing disability right off the jump, like right away. And at first I'm like, wait, I don't understand. I right now I'm processing with you all in real time about that. He mentioned that when you're on dating apps, he actually doesn't recommend dating apps. So number one, he wants you to just go out there and just meet people organically. But he said if you have to do it, that you get to know the person first, let the person get to know you first, like this maybe by the second date or the third date, that's when you disclose your hearing loss. His advice is coming from a really like a space of not wanting his daughter to be taken advantage of, because it's true, like there are some wicked people in this world who will hear something about you and try to play it in their favor, especially if they are just getting to know you or they're strangers and things of that nature. So I hear where he's coming from with that. On the other hand, after I discussed with friends about just dating and disclosing my hearing loss, a lot of them said you should tell them right away about your hearing loss so they can better support you. And if they are freaked out or they're about to take advantage of you because of your hearing loss, those are not people you want in your circle anyway. So you've already weeded out problematic people just by disclosing your disability from the get-go. I disclose it right away because if you're gonna swipe right on me, you should just know right away what you're getting into before we meet up. But if I'm meeting someone organically, I will probably have a conversation with them, and if I'm having trouble hearing them, what I do is I'll ask them to maybe pronounce their words or speak a little bit louder so I can hear them. And if it becomes a more of a problem, then I let them know, okay, I have a hearing loss, so I need you to do this really and truly because it's actually part of my identity. But when I'm meeting a person for the first time, it's not like I bump into the person and say, hi, I'm Kay, I have a hearing loss, because that would also be really weird. I don't jump straight off the bat like that. But I say, hey, I'm Kay, how are you? Have that organic rapport first. And then if we're in a crowded situation or a situation where my hearing really comes into play, I let them know the person that is meant for you will understand and love you fully in all aspects of who you are. So if you telling them that you have a hearing loss, whether you do it from the first date or the 5th or 10th date, if that scares them off or they look a little bit like, I don't want to be a part of this, they weren't meant for you anyway. Don't sacrifice your full self in order to have a relationship or just to have someone. You want to be able to live authentically and fully in your truth and have someone see all of you and love you for all of you. So don't hide your disability. It's just up to you. For me, it's a matter of when, not if I'm going to. Like, it's not, I'm not going to keep it a secret forever. It's a matter of when, but I'm eventually going to tell you because I need you to accept me in my fullest self. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever dated somebody else with a disability, and how has that changed how you disclose that information and how they receive that information?
Oh yeah, I actually did. It was before COVID started, actually. So the interesting thing, I dated a guy and he had dyslexia, which was very interesting for both of us because his preferred method of communication was audio. So he would like to leave voice notes. He would like to be on phone conversations, because if I texted him, especially if I texted him long paragraphs, it would be really difficult for him to parse through the words because of his dyslexia. For me, my preferred method of communication is writing because I can see text. I know exactly what you're saying. I like emails and things of that nature. So our disabilities were quite opposite in a very interesting way that I'd never experienced before. And I think some people make the incorrect assumption that just because you're disabled or you have an aspect on your identity that you're navigating through makes you sympathetic and understanding to all disabilities or all like marginalized identities. Like, that is not the case. Every disability is different. It looks different. Support for each disability will show up in different ways. So for me, we had to come up with a compromise. For example, our compromise was that maybe twice a week, I'll get on the phone, we'll have phone conversations and things of that nature. And then the compromise for me sending him text messages is that I would send text messages that were very short and to the point. So no, hey, how are you? The sun is shining today. I'm thinking of you, yada, yada, yada. No, those long paragraphs, dead in the water. It was straight up like, hey, like, how was your day? Or, hey, what time are we gonna meet? Very short and to the point, because it would cause him to expend a lot of energy and bandwidth to read long paragraphs. So I wanted to respect that and show up for him in that way, as well as get on the phone in order to support him in his preferred method of communication, and vice versa. So he would, throughout the week, text message me. He'll text message me very brief because it would be a lot for him to do the writing, but he would text message me briefly. He'll just like send me pictures instead, as a means of like communication and communicating that way. And of course, when we're in person, it was a great vibe while it lasted. So it was a great vibe while it lasted. So he showed up for me by making sure that he was in front of me when he was talking. He would repeat himself, if necessary, rephrase himself if necessary. He would make sure like he held my hand or tapped my shoulder to get my attention before conversing. So especially when we were in person, he would show up for me in those ways. So yeah, like the one, in summary, just because you have a disability or a hearing loss doesn't mean that you will understand all different types of hearing loss or all different types of disabilities. That's not the case or not synonymous. Just because there are people in your circle who have different disabilities, you just have to learn to show up for them in the way that they prefer. So really asking like, how can I better support you, and let them tell you that so you can show up for them. So that's that. Never be afraid to ask questions. Like, people, whoever whoever I work with, they make a running joke like, oh, Kay, do you have any questions now? Because I'll ask questions.
Hello, my name is Dr. Kevin Peng, neurologist here at the House Institute. Thank you for watching this video. The House Institute provides free educational videos for hearing health professionals worldwide. To help support videos like these and other educational efforts, please consider donating by clicking the link in the description box below. Your generous support allows us to keep videos like these at no cost for you and others. Thank you.